Hey everybody, some Gadget Guy here with another flash drive review. Now, this is my DataTraveler 6000. This is a Kingston secure hardware encrypted drive, which I did a review of a while back. I have a little government work in my background, and so this kind of stuff is right up my alley. This is a FIPS level 3 secure drive, hardware encryption. I mean, it's just, there's no way you're getting data off of this thing, and it'll nuke itself if you put in the wrong password too many times. Now, several of you criticized this drive during my review because the street price on this thing is around $107 for a 16 gigabyte drive, and obviously most consumers out there don't need something quite this hardcore to protect their own documents, their own files, especially if you're just going to put like a TurboTax backup or something on your drive. You want something protected, but you probably don't need something this secure. I mean, unless you're trafficking in nuclear secrets, this might not be the drive for you, although I love mine to death. And of course, I'm super paranoid about what might happen to my data if it were to fall into the wrong hands. So I'm a big fan of the DT6000. Well, in hearing some of my viewer concerns, Kingston was kind enough to send over their new DataTraveler Locker Plus G3. Kind of a mouthful, but this is a 16 gigabyte drive, which is USB 3, whereas this was only USB 2. And while it doesn't feature the same hardcore levels of encryption, it does feature hardware encryption. So it's not just a little software program that asks for a password. There are actual hardware modules built into the drive to make sure that the data on your drive stays safe. And again, just like with the DT6000, one of my favorite features, if you input the wrong password too many times onto the drive will nuke itself, making sure that your information can't fall into the wrong hands. So I just want to show the setup process on the DataTraveler Locker Plus G3. So let me spend just a second. I'll get it out of this blister pack packaging here, and then I'll pop it into my Lenovo Twist, and you guys can see what the security features look like on this flash drive. So it took me a little longer than I expected it to get it out of that packaging. I'm glad I didn't try and show that on camera. But this is the DataTraveler Locker Plus G3. It's a very attractive, very simple aluminum casing with a nice tight cap fit right there. It really snaps into place. I believe that's going to be like a little light or a little indicator right there. And then it's also got a little lanyard hole right there. So just like with the DT6000, you can fit like a little keychain on there if you want to put that on there. It didn't come with a keychain or a lanyard, but you can fit one. I might steal the one from my DT6000. This drive is far more competitively priced, as this 16 gigabyte drive will retail for around $20. I think you can pick it up for 20 and change on the Kingston site right now, as opposed to $107, which is currently going for the DT6000 on Amazon. Speaking of security, I just wanted to show what I had to do to mangle the packaging to get this thing out. I had to like tear into it with a pair of pliers with the little wire snips on them just to get all the way around. So Kingston takes their flash drive security very seriously. So, you already know that you're in good hands when it takes military grade pocket knife to get into the packaging on your flash drive. Here, and just like my other reviews, we're gonna do a little box toss there. And here is my Lenovo, and we're just gonna pop this into the USB port right now. All right, everybody, so I'm popping the DataTraveler Locker Plus G3 into my Lenovo Twist, and we get the little deedly. So we're gonna come home. I'm gonna see, we can run the DT Plus launcher from Kingston, or we can open folder to view files. So I wanna see what happens, because I haven't even set this drive up. I'm gonna go to this PC. Excellent. Okay, so as you can see, the DataTraveler is not showing up as a drive. What we have here is a 10.4 megabyte partition, which runs the encryption software on the hardware encryption module for the drive. There's no way for us to get into the 16 gigabyte store until we run the setup process. So I'm going to double tap on this. It's going to start up the DataTraveler Locker Plus software, and this is software that runs off of the drive. And this will be compatible with Mac and PC. This will not work if you try and plug your flash drive into a phone, an Android device, or into a Windows RT tablet. Unfortunately, Windows RT will not recognize the software on the DataTraveler. So now we can select our language, and I speak English poorly. And whoever reads the license agreement, I'm just going to hit accept. Okay, so now I need to come up with a password for the drive, and I'm going to use my standard, overly complicated. Whoops, and I just messed that up because I'm trying to talk. And that's another thing too, guys, is this kind of encryption, this kind of hardware security is only going to be as good as what you put into it for a password. So I don't want to hear any complaints from you guys like, oh, I bought this drive because you said it was super protected, but then someone guessed my password because I picked my password off after watching the movie Spaceballs because I'm a dork. Yeah, that's not on me, guys. That's on you. And now we hit next. Okay, and let me put in my name. And we'll put in a company name. And we'll do like a little... Gonna all totally email me now. Gasp. And we finish this off. It's formatting the drive. I'm gonna hit OK. And the drive is ready to use. And now we have a window pop up, which is awesome sauce. So now here it's under the E:drive. Well, now Windows has actually recognized the drive and has brought up the screen because I have most mass storage set to automatically open to a folder window view. So now when we come into this PC, we're going to see now two entries. We can see the Kingston software partition, and now we've got 14.3 gigabytes of that 16 gigabyte drive ready to go on this this space, which is managed by that hardware encryption partition. And now you can put anything you want into here, and whenever you pull the drive and put the drive back in, it's going to ask for that password that you set up initially. Now I'm going to pull the drive out and put it back in. I can get rid of this. Come into here. We're going to run the security software, get this out of the way. All right, so when you put the drive back in, this is the window that pops up asking for a password. So you can put your password in there. You can look for the password hint. But of course, I don't put a password hint in there because I don't want people to try and be able to guess my password because I'm paranoid like that. And I'm really good at memorizing my passwords. We can reset the password. In order to protect your data, your DT Locker 3 G+ will be formatted and all data will be erased. You want to enter a new password and format your DT Locker plus G3. We're going to hit cancel. And then, of course, we can do that show contact information. So I do have my name, my company name, and then an email address that someone can reach me if they find this drive. Now, you know, in the whole reset password, and then if you put in the wrong password too many times, the Kingston will wipe everything out on the drive. Now, that's a bummer. If you lose your drive, you know, you don't want that stuff to be gone entirely, but you also have to kind of weigh data security against pros and cons. So you just have to ask yourself, is this information valuable enough that if you were to lose this drive and someone else were to find it, that you would prefer that the drive just wipe itself clean than them be able to access your data? And so if the answer to your question is yes, I would prefer that to happen, then this is precisely one of the products that you'll want to check out. So folks, it's just that simple. If you've been curious about what kind of devices you can use to protect your data, especially for how mobile our data is. I mean, we've got phones and cloud services and laptops and tablets, and sometimes you just want to put a couple files or a couple pictures or a couple documents onto something that you can lock down and something you can protect. And so, especially considering, like I said, the price point on this thing is going to be around $20 on the Kingston site, which isn't a bad price to pay for some of that peace of mind, especially knowing that they can't just, you know, wipe out one of the executables or one of the programs to get at the data on this drive. It is actual hardware encryption. They don't say to what level this is hardware encrypted, but it is a proper hardware encryption module which protects the data on your device. So if there's anything I can impart, you know, especially during these reviews, if you're really curious about ways that you can protect yourself, this is definitely a product I would recommend taking a look at just to make sure that information which is sensitive to you and you wouldn't want to fall into the wrong hands is handily protected. As always, folks, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you all on the next review.